under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Smash that like button. Let's go.
just tap my hand because some of the problem was a little bit your girl's survivor speaks fault, y'all. Come on now. Oh, hey, hold on one second. I know why. I'm hearing this feedback in my ear, and I'm like, why am I hearing this feedback in my ear? I got it. Struggle streaming over here. So Rebecca says hi to all. What's up, Rebecca? We're going to be reading from the P Diddy transcripts. Let me go ahead and bring myself on camera right here. I believe. Oh, hi, there I am. Hello. So Allie may be. I already confirmed that. So Allie may be handling some business. She'll be over here back in a minute if she had to step away. Nessa C is always in and out. Um, so we're going to get started because I'm not going to be here long. Well, I'll be here depending. Um, and shout out to all you over on Twitter. I would love for you all to come over here on YouTube. I don't like turning off like the live over there on Twitter. But, if you can just hit the link, come over here, like the video, and then you can go back and watch on Twitter, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. It would warm my hearts up. Um, but shout out to y'all over there on Twitter. I know the other day I did a reading and I turned the Twitter off. So or X, formerly known as Twitter, because I ask that you just come over here and like the video, but you can watch from wherever you like. So I was gonna do the same tonight, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. You will see me take sips in between because listen, I'm doing the reading by myself. Let me check and see if Atlas Live, if it's going, what time he's going live today, if they're doing a reading today. Let me just check and see that because you guys have to really support him and um I don't see that he's got anything. We got Leticia tells us has an upcoming live later, but Atlas, I know you went on late. Oh, that may be the channel. That is interesting. Um, Catnap Williams has a closing premiere. I'm gonna have to check that out. Catnap Williams has a closing premiere. I'm gonna have to go over there and see what time that is on what time that is premiering. That is interesting. I'm just looking to see. I really want. Let me see if Atmos has is if he is going live because that is an interesting read to go and listen to as well. Like I say, he has a full cast over there on his channel. But let me just see if he's actually doing a reading today. So he did one yesterday at 9 p.m. I don't see anything upcoming though. I will send him a message to see if he's going live later. If they're doing a reading today or they're doing it later sometime during the. Let me just send him a message now. I'm gonna know if he's doing a reading tonight. Um, hold on one moment here. Let me see. Um, hold on a minute. So I just sent him a message. I just want to know if he's doing a live reading tonight because I don't see one coming up, but I do see Cat Not Williams having a premiere today. So I'll check again and see if he responds. So Allie is back in the house. What is going on, Allie? Okay, so you guys are talking in the chat. So like I said, everybody's opinions are accepted in the chat as long as they are respectful or they will be removed. So without further ado, let me bring over the documents so we can get started. And if you're here, like the video, we have more people on Twitter watching on Twitter X, formerly known as Twitter. I wish you guys can come over because I really, 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 really don't want to cut it. And you guys are supporting me over there. But if you would come over here and like the video, I would greatly appreciate it. All right. So let's see. It's not. Oh wow! I put it on here as a window, and it's not showing. Hold on, let me see if I can. Let me put up the chat rules here. Ali, thank you so much for dropping that. I'm trying to. All right, I'm. It's not. Hold on. I'm gonna have to do this like this. I'm gonna have to open this in another. In a window. Cause hold on, I should be able to just share this window. Oh yeah, I got it, y'all. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. This way. All right. That's not no fun, so we got to share it this way. All right. And so we're going to get what's up, Lynn Ali. Everybody drop some prayer hands in the chat for Lynn Ali. Don't ask me why. Just do as we do over here and just drop some prayer hands down in the chat for Lynn Ali. Yeah, I have 5 additional free memberships to give out. I'm not going to do it now, but if you come over, the only way to get the memberships on YouTube is to be on YouTube. But unfortunately, YouTube chooses the uh, person who gets the membership, and so I have no control over that. But you have to be a subscriber. Is one. And who knows how they choose the person who gets the membership. But if you're here, please drop some prayer hands in the chat for Lynn Ali. And shout out to baby Allie. And prayer hands, also prayers in the chat for baby Allie, still moving forward. Allie will one day come up and share with you, what she has been through with her and baby Allie. Shout out and prayers to both to baby Allie and to Lynn Ali. All right, so we're going to do so far. I'm aiming at doing the opening statements from both sides, depending on. I'll see if I can go a little further. So, depending, a lot of things are depending on other things. So we'll see. All right. So, You're not able to. Oh, Rebecca, if you're going from your phone, you may need to delete the complete app and re-download the app. There has to be something with the app. I know the um subscriptions. I know that that's YouTube wide. A lot of content creators saying that they are having issues with the subscriptions, but the notifications from after they subscribe to a channel. But subscribing, well, a lot of things have happened. Some people say they don't see me live when I'm live. I know that was an issue, but that kind of cleared itself out. Lynette, we can Ali, that's all right. She know you didn't mean we got prayer hands in the chat for you. That's all we know. She know you meant the prayer hands and not the other emoji. So some people are, said that I'm live and they don't see that I'm live actually here on YouTube. So but for you, the issues that you've been having, Rebecca, I know that you may need to just remove the app and re-upload the app again. Because sometimes you come on, you're under Rebecca Cried, and sometimes you're here under Rebecca Cried. So I'm not sure. Oh, you have to turn on the membership feature. I don't know if your membership feature is on. You actually have to, and you have a Samsung, you don't have an iPhone, but you actually have to opt into the membership program. So that could be it. All right. So Allie's going to get that information for the opting into the gift portion. And Allie, when you get a chance, Kat Not Williams has a premiere she has a live premiere. Can you check and see the time for me, please? Thank you so much so I can get into this. So on the screen, we have the transcript, and it's the United States versus Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Diddy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. P. D, a.k.a. Love. That was a lot. Puff Daddy, Puff Diddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, P. D, Love, Brother Love. They left off Brother Love. Y'all better add that. Well, I guess it's too late. To the transcripts. And when I tell you that from Tisa Tells sharing the up-to-date live updates on her channel, my mouth has been open. Today was definitely a crazy day today in court. So all I'll say is that Cassie's mom testified. All I'll say is that the people that are still non-believers, you go on, people can believe what they want to believe, but all I got to say is there was extortion introduced into this case today. Also furthers the RICO count. And that's why, like, if you have some lawyer friends, you need to get you some lawyer friends. Shout out to the happily angry lawyer over here on the YouTube. Jim, we need to talk. I'm not sure if you over there on the Twitter, but we just want to know why you changed your name to angrily lawyer on the Twitter. Oh, my goodness. Angry lawyer. And before we finish the reading, I am so sorry. I do have to let you guys hear a word from our sponsors first. So, one moment, we'll be right back and continue this reading.
From our sponsor, Survivor Speaks extends heartfelt gratitude to Emin Essentials for their generous sponsorship. From handmade soy wax candles for a cleaner burn to car and pet-friendly room freshener sprays, they offer quality products tailored to your needs and do not use any dye in any of their products. Custom packaging is available upon request, along with a limited luxury line while supplies last. Visit www.inmanessentials.com now, and don't forget to subscribe and enter your email address for an exclusive 10% discount on your first order. What are you waiting for? Now back to the show.
So, what's up? What's up? And we are back. Yeah, okay, now, says Lenali. Yeah, we are back. M Essentials is also back, sponsoring the show. And also, let's go on with this transcript. This case is before the Honorable, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce his first name right, Arun Subramanian. He's the district judge. Um, and of course, we know we're not going to go through all of this. We have the assistant United States attorneys listed here. United States attorneys for the Southern District of New York is the attorney Jay Clayton, but all of the assistant U.S. attorneys are women. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bad women. Y'all know what I'm saying. And also, on the defense side, we have Mark Agnifilio. Yeah, go over to Tisa Tell so you can hear her impersonation of attorney Mark Agnifilio. He is Diddy's attorney, Tenny R. Garagos. I don't know if I'm jacking up his name. And Cher Tremonte. We have Anna M. Estabayo and Shapiro Arado Bach LLP on Diddy's side. Also, Alexandra A.E. Shapiro, Jason A. Driscoll, and Xavier R. Donaldson. The Honorable, Wonderful, Magnificent Brian Steele. We don't know how Brian Steele got on this case. We just know that Brian Steele is on this case on the Diddy side. We are a fan of Brian Steele's over here. But it's still, and that's a play on world, still not, it's not, seems like it's not going too well. And they left off the beautiful, wonderful, honorable Nicole Westmoreland. Shout out to the attorney, Nicole Westmoreland. We know she's added to Diddy's team. I have my thoughts about why she was added by Diddy, aka Brother Love, Puff Daddy P. Diddy, P. Diddy Love, Brother Love. Put my arm around your love, drop something in your drink or your baby or your love. Uh, I have a feeling why she was added, but I want y'all all to know that she is an awesome, awesome attorney. And shout out to her. I don't know how you got stuck, but you're stuck like Chuck. What the earth? All right, and shout out, thank you, Ali, for that. We're on our way to 4K. I think we're at 3.96 K subs. So as I stated, come on over here to the YouTube, like the channel. It will help us get this video out in the algorithm. Thank you so much. Let's get on with the reading. It opens up with Mr. Agnifilio. One thing on the record, he is saying while the judge is up there in the robing room, the court's record. I'm happy to do it on record. So they're in the judges. They're with the judges. I'm going to ask that victim number one, when she testifies, be already in the jury box when the jury comes in. Only ask to her, only because of her physical condition. So they're in the courtroom, but the jury is outside of the presence of the jury. Okay. So, I mean, there are certain things we can't control about a juror who is 8.5 months pregnant. I believe he's talking about victim number one. When a juror is 8.5 months pregnant, so it's okay. But I think there is a quality to her walking in front of the jury. That is Cassie, that I think is easily avoidable. We all know that Cassie is victim number one at this point. It has been made public. We knew it before they started this reading that it was Cassie, and she is adding, in addition to her lovely family, she is 8.5 months pregnant. So I'm not making an application for any of the other witnesses. The court says, wait, let me make sure I understand. Mr. Agnifilio says, yes. The judge says, the court, Miss Comey, who is your first witness? Miss Comey says first witness is Israel Flores. The court, that's what I thought. When we get to the third witness, which is Miss Ventura, so she actually is, according to this right now, is the third witness, Miss Comey, correct. Your Honor, the court, when we get to our third witness, just for purposes of that witness, Mr. Agnifilio says yes. You would like her to be already sitting in a witness box? Mr. Agnifilio says yes. Allie knows. You know how she got on the other side. That's we I have my thoughts about. Well, I'll keep them to myself. I'm not gonna. We know that Diddy is one of the reasons. You know, we know that Brian Steele and Miss Nicole Westmoreland were attorneys on in the YSL trial. So Miss Westmoreland was initially one defendant, and then they fought for Yak Gotti's freedom. She fought with Yak Gott's freedom alongside of the Honorable, and I love him, ponytail wearing attorney Bruce Harvey. So shout out and good luck with this one. So if Your Honor is considering it, so this is Miss Comey. Your Honor, we would object. If Your Honor is considering it, I would like to be heard on that. I don't think there are any basis to treat any witness differently because of a medical condition, most notably pregnancy. I think that would be deeply inappropriate. Mr. Agnifilio, I can make the application. It doesn't have to be now. It can be done before she testifies. Anytime, good for the court. The court, I'll think about it. Ms. Comey makes the point. We wouldn't treat people differently based on any other sort of medical condition or physical impairment or any other attribute, right? Why would we treat this differently? Mr. Agnifilio, because I think there is a prejudicial quality. Pregnancy is beautiful and wonderful. She shouldn't experience pregnancy because she's a victim? Oh, okay. Um, it also is a source of potential sympathy. They are going to see the witness 100%. The court said they are going to see the witness, and Mr. Agnifilio says 100%. And the court says, aren't they also going to see the witness leaving the witness stand? What are you trying to achieve? And Mr. Agnifilio says, well, so in the past trials, and each trial is different, I've certainly had situations where the jury was excused before the witness either sat down or left the witness stand. And I would make that application for all the witnesses, except I think it takes a little bit more time. So I wasn't going to do that in the interest of time. I've always preferred the procedure where the witness is seated, then the jury comes in. I've probably had most of my trials with that as the process. The court. Well, the court does that too when it fosters efficiency. I'm sure that we will actually do that at this trial, but you're making a different application. Okay, clock it, clock it. Say that. You are saying we will, in fact, have the witness seated whenever the jury comes in, and there's an objection to that. And it's a fair one. That I don't know that there is any support anywhere in the history of American jurisprudence. You could find that for me. You've got time. I've heard the objection. I tend to agree with it. However, you've got until the afternoon because this isn't going to happen. If it happens today at all, I think you've got some time. If you have any support for that, I'm happy to take a look at it. The deputy clerk, Your Honor, can we go off of the record? Recess. Now they're back in open court. The court, Mr. Courtroom Deputy, are we prepared to proceed? The deputy clerk says, yes, Your Honor, I will check on them right now. Miss Shapiro, Your Honor, I'm sorry. Can I just put one thing on the record? The court, yes. Ms. Shapiro, we just want to note to supplement the Batson application, which we understand Your Honor has denied, that in addition to the points for Mr. Agnifilo made, that two of the Black individuals the government struck number 161 and 163 were the only two Black men in the first 28. The court, all right, Ms. Comey, Your Honor, I don't think that's right. And in the first 28, in the first 28, that's what Ali says already a hot, chaotic mess, and they ain't even put up the first witness on the stand. Goodness. Say that again, Ali. That's what? She said, I don't think that's right. And if I can correct the record, juror number 184, who is on the jury, I believe, is a black man. She said the first 28. So he's okay. So the juror number doesn't matter. Okay. So the court, well, I think we have the government's response. Ms. Comey, do you have anything further in response to Ms. Shapiro's submission? Ms. Comey, Your Honor, I would want the record to also reflect that there were other men who weren't non-white men also seated on the jury. I think I noted that, but given Ms. Shapiro, I don't think that's correct, but the court. All right, I understand that you supplemented the record. Ms. Comey has responded, and the Batson application continues to be denied. So, with that, at this point, Mr. Courtroom Deputy, are we prepared to bring in the jury? The deputy clerk says, yes, Your Honor. The court, all right, let's bring in the jury. Please be seated. Deputy Clerk, Your Honor, I'll confirm I have the juror seated in the correct position. Are you juror number 2? Yes. Number 5, yes. Number 25, yes. Number 55, yes. 58, yes. 75, yes. The court, are you juror number 116? The deputy clerk, thank you. Are you juror number 160? Yes. Are you juror number 184? Yes. 201, correct. 217, yes. Proceeding to the last row, are you juror number 230? Yes. Are you juror number 234? Yes. Are you juror number 292? That's why we do this. Are you juror number 292? Yes. Saying number twice. So, okay. So, great. Thank you. Are you juror number 321? Yes. 330? Yes. Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being with us through the jury selection process. Welcome back to the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York. As you were told when you were here for jury selection, I am Arun Subramanian, and I will be presiding over the trial in this case, United States of America versus Sean Combs. Trial will begin shortly with opening statements. We will sit every weekday until trial is over, with the exception of court holidays. Our anticipated schedule had not changed since I last spoke to you. The attorneys and I expect this trial to be over before July 4th. Obviously, it is possible that the trial could no longer, but I don't expect that it will every day this week will be here from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. After this week, we will go from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day, and we will try to make your trial experience as smooth and pleasant and possible as possible. If any issues come up, please contact the courtroom deputy. A light breakfast will be available for every trial day in the jury room at 8:30, and I encourage you to arrive early so as to not delay the other jurors and the participants in this trial. We will take a shorter than usual break for lunch. I'm anticipating about 30 minutes, but we will have lunch provided for you in the jury room, so you don't need to leave the courthouse and take that additional time. Now, the reason why we will have one shorter break in the middle of the day is so that you can leave earlier most days. That is the point, so that you can have more time to attend to the things you need to do in life while we're conducting this trial. Of course, if you need a break during the proceedings for any urgent personal reason, you should let the courtroom deputy know. But I will make every effort to move this trial along promptly and make efficient use of your time. Now, the names and identities of the jurors are known to the court in both parties, who will keep your names and identities in confidence. In order to protect your privacy, that personal information about you will not be disclosed to the public. This is in no way unusual. It is a common practice followed in many cases in the federal courts that is being followed here in this case. The courtroom deputy will now swear in the jury. Is there anyone in the jury who does not swear an oath but affirm? Put your hands down for a minute. Is there anyone who does not take an oath? You can raise your hands again. A juror of 12 jurors and 6 alternates was impaneled and sworn. the court. Now, members of the jury, now that you have been sworn, I will give you some preliminary instructions to guide you in your participation in this trial. To begin with, you are here to administer justice in this case according to the law and evidence. You are to perform this task with complete fairness and impartiality and without bias, prejudice, or sympathy for or against any of the parties. I know that's Allie raising the objection sign over here on YouTube. There are a lot of people watching because I'm about to turn their water off because you guys need to come over here to YouTube, right to the channel Survivor Speaks. The link is in the uh, description. So, yeah. Anywho, Allie, right on time. If I show the my personal emojis, won't show up on uh the platform that I'm streaming from, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm gonna write them and ask them, can you change that if I'm streaming from here? I don't think it may be some way that I may just have to upload my emojis over here, but okay. Let me get past that. But Allie is here, holding up the objection sign over here on YouTube. So it will be your duty to find from, and that her objection sign is to both parties knowing who the jurors are, and they will keep their names, and they will keep it private because I'll just leave it there. So it's none of the attorneys on the other side, but we'll leave it there. So it will be your duty to find from the evidence what the facts are. You and you alone will be the judges of the facts. You will then have to apply those facts to the law as the court will give it to you. You must follow the law whether you agree with it or not. Nothing that I say or do during the trial is intended to indicate or should be taken by you as indicating what your verdict should be. The evidence from which you will find the facts will consist of the testimony of witnesses, documents, and other things received into the record as exhibits, as well as any facts that the parties agree to or stipulate to that the court may instruct you to find. Certain things are not evidence and must not be considered by you. I will list them for you now. First, statements, arguments, and questions by lawyers are not evidence, nor are my own statements to you. Only the answers given by the witnesses and the documents admitted as exhibits are evidence. Some of y'all out here in the public need to listen. Second, objections to the questions are not evidence. The lawyers have an obligation to their clients to make an objection when they believe evidence being offered is improper under the rules of evidence. You should not be influenced by the court's ruling on an objection. If the objection is sustained, ignore the question. If it is overruled, treat the answer like any other. If you are instructed that some item of evidence is received for a limited purpose only, you must follow that instruction. Third, testimony that the court has excluded or told you to disregard is not evidence and may not be considered. Finally, anything you may have seen or heard outside the courtroom is not evidence and must be disregarded. You are to decide the case solely on the evidence presented here in this courtroom. When you are determining the facts, keep in mind that there are two kinds of evidence: direct and circumstantial. Direct evidence is direct proof of a fact, such as the testimony of an eyewitness. Circumstantial evidence is proof of facts from which you may infer or conclude that other facts exist. The word infer, or the expression to draw an inference, means to find that a fact exists from proof of another fact. An inference is to be drawn only if it is logical and reasonable to do so, and not by speculation or guesswork. Hold on 1 minute. Um, everyone, hold on 1 second. Give me one moment here. 1 second. 1 second. Um, one moment. What's up, AOBD? Um, so yeah, what's up, AOBD? Thank you so much. AOBD, what is going on with those eyes? AOBD, what it do? What it do? What it do? All right, let's go. Let's go. So does not necessarily prove less than direct evidence, nor does it necessarily prove more. Here is an example to help you think about the difference between direct and circumstantial evidence. Assume that when you came into the courthouse this morning, the sun was shining as it is outside, and it was a nice day outdoors. Also, assume that the courtroom blinds were drawn and you could not look outside. Assume further that as you were sitting here, someone walked in with an umbrella that was dripping wet. And then a few moments later, someone else walked in with a raincoat that was also dripping wet. Now, because you could not look outside the courtroom and you couldn't see whether it was raining, and because no witness has testified that it is raining, you would have no direct evidence of the fact that it was raining. But on the combination of facts that I have asked you to assume, it would be reasonable and logical for you to conclude that it was, in fact, raining. That is all there is to circumstantial evidence. So you infer on the basis of reason, experience, and common sense from one established fact the existence or the non existence of some other fact. I'll give you further instructions on these as well as other matters at the end of the case, but keep in mind that you may consider both kinds of evidence. Now, one of your most important tasks as jurors is to evaluate the credibility of the witnesses who will testify before you. That is how truthful and believable they are. Listen carefully as each witness testifies during both direct and cross examination and consider whether the witness is telling the truth. It will be up to you to decide which witnesses to believe, which witnesses not to believe, and how much of any witness's testimony to accept or reject. Now, how do you decide? So these jurors aren't, hold on. So these jurors are, I'm trying to remember the legal term. I'm having a chemo fog brain moment. So they're not sequestered? Oh, oh. So in a, I'm a, federal juries aren't sequestered. I know it's normally on the state level. It is, but they definitely should be sequestered. That's just my thought. This panel of juries, these jurors, I think they should have been definitely been sequestered. What say you over here on the YouTube? Just let us know down in the comments. What do you think? I'm gonna have to ask. I'm gonna have to ask my child. I'm gonna have to ask. I'm not asking right now. I'm just looking to see if Mr. Atmos Love responded yet because I see Oh, okay, thanks. So Atmos Love is going doing a live reading tomorrow at 9 p.m. on his channel. Uh so he was responded. Um yeah, okay. So Atmos Love is going live tomorrow, and he's doing his reading at 9 p.m. Like I told you, it is a whole cast over there, and they're good at what they do. So, but I don't know why this jury is not sequestered. So now, how do you decide what to believe and what not to believe? You are to listen to the witnesses, observe their testimony, and then decide as you would decide such questions in your own life. Did they know what they were talking about? Were they candid, honest, open, and truthful? Did they have a reason to falsify, exaggerate, or distort their testimony? Sometimes it is not what a witness says, but how he or she says it. That may give you a clue as to whether or not as to accept that witness's version of an incident or an event as credible or believable. In short, the way a witness testifies may play an important part in reaching a judgment as to whether or not you can accept the witness's testimony as reliable. You may hear from law enforcement officials in this case. The fact that a witness may be employed as a law enforcement official does not mean that his or her testimony is deserving of greater or lesser weight than that of an ordinary witness. You may also hear from two witnesses testifying using pseudonyms, that is not using their real names. The government, the defense, the court, and you, the jury, will know their real names, but the names will not be used in open court solely to protect the privacy of these individuals from disclosure to persons who are not parties to this case. The fact that a witness is testifying using a pseudonym does not mean that his or her testimony is deserving of greater or lesser weight than that of any other witness. Now, a few words about your conduct as jurors. I gave each of you the following instructions when you were here for jury selection last week, but I will repeat the instructions now because they are extremely important and I am counting on each and every one of you to follow them. All right, so we're going to get right into, we're going to skip over the jury instructions. They're not allowed to speak with anyone. I do understand there is a juror that people are questioning already, but that's up to the courts and the people to do what they need to do. I'm just saying what some of the people that are in the courtroom are saying, that one juror is questionable. I don't know who it is. I'm not in the court. I just have the court documents. Okay. So the judge wants to, I think this is important to read. I just was not reading through those instructions. Also, be sure that I am informed. He wants to be informed of any person that you know comes into the courtroom. This is a public trial, so it could happen. But it is important. So if anyone comes into the courtroom that is testifying, they should not be in the courtroom. But it is important that you do not hear from them what may have happened in the courtroom while the jury was not present. So they can only tell you what happens while the jury is present, or and things like that. If you should see a friend or relative come into the courtroom, please send me a note through the deputy at your first opportunity. That may be because that person may be a witness. So they should not hear anything until they come into the courtroom. So we're still on jury instructions. Fourth, fifth, I know, this is a good one. I'm going to read number 5. I know many of you use cell phones, laptops, social media, the internet, and other tools of technology. You all do. You must not use these tools to communicate electronically with anyone about the case. And this is for the jurors only. This includes your family and your friends. You may not communicate with anyone about the case on any technological device, including through email, text messaging, or any social media websites. Finally, do not form any opinion until all the evidence is in. Oh, so that, child, I'm not gonna put you on no timeout with the objection sign, Allie. You can object with the objection sign in YouTube all you want. So finally, do not form any opinion until all the evidence is in the chair. And the reason why I said chair, there's a reason why I said chair. Child. Okay, so a case can only be presented step by step, witness by witness, until all the evidence is before you. Keep an open mind until you start your deliberations at the end of the case. Now you are permitted to take notes during this trial. The courtroom deputy has given each of you a notepad and a pen. Please write your name um, on no, or he nix that, or your juror number, excuse me, on the cover of the pad. Do not write your name. He said, do not write your name, but please write that juror number. We need to see the judge and everybody. Those when they are made public, they need to see them notes if they make the jury notes public. But the judge and the people that both sides, they should be able to read them notes. Just the number if you do take notes. Please do so only on these pads. Remember that any notes you take are for your use only, and they are to be used only as an aid to your memory. Your memory controls if you do take notes. Be careful not to get so involved in taking notes that you are not listening to the evidence. Once you are in deliberations, if there is a disagreement between one juror's notes and another juror's notes, or between one juror's notes and another juror's recollection, you can ask to have the court reporter read back the testimony or to have that portion of the transcript sent to you, for it is the official court transcript that controls not any particular juror's notes. During the course of the trial, exhibits will be received into evidence. They will be marked by an exhibit number. If there is an exhibit that you are interested in seeing during your deliberations, or you think you might be interested, just write down that exhibit number. At the end of the trial, as you begin your deliberations, we will provide each of you with a list of all the witnesses who testified, as well as a list of all the exhibits that have been received into evidence. This will be a lengthy trial with many exhibits and witnesses, but please do not hesitate to request as much material as you need when you are in deliberations. So I will say, so Ali, I do see your comment on X over here. Hey, everyone watching and in the chat. Hope y'all doing good. We would love to have you join us over on YouTube. Do your thing, Ali, with us and our great custom emoji, like my favorite, the Brooks Objection sign. But even if you could come over and hit that like and subscribe, Ali, thank you so much. Because I was getting ready to go over there and I was getting ready to turn the water off when I start to read the Cassie's notes. But I love them over there on X, formerly known as the Twitters. So thank you so much. Like my favorite, the Brooks Objection sign. But even if you could come over, hit that like button. Ali says it's not showing everything here, but hit that like and subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. Hope to see you guys over there with us. Thank you so much, Ali. Love everything you do for the channel. Thank you so much. Ali is like my right hand. Don't know what I'd do without her on the Bible Speaks channel over here. Now I do have many other mods. They are in and out. Some of them are doing other things on other channel, but thank you. So this will be a lengthy trial with many exhibits and witnesses, but please do not hesitate to request as much material as you need when you are in your deliberations. We will now begin the trial. As I told you earlier, the trial is expected to be done in 8 weeks. This week will begin each day at 9:30 a.m. Please be on time. To help ensure we start on time, please be in the jury room at 9:15 a.m. at the latest so we can begin without delaying. Starting next week, when we begin at 9 a.m. each day, I will ask you to be here in the morning by 8:45. The key thing is that nobody is late. If any of you are late, we will have to wait, and we can't start until you're all here. And all of us will just have to be kind of cooling our heels until you arrive. And if we lose 10 to 20 minutes each day, we might not be able to get completed on time. It might go past July 4th, which nobody wants. Now, let me tell you how the trial will proceed. First, we will have opening statements. An attorney for the government will make an opening statement. Then an attorney for the defense will do so. The opening statements are neither evidence or argument. They are simply outlines of what attorneys believe the evidence will show. Made me think of Miss Lyle Love. And the evidence will show ain't showed nothing. So, and they are given to, excuse me, y'all, that was my mind wandered over there to the YSL trial. Sorry about that. And they are given to help you follow the evidence as it is presented. After opening statements, the government will present its case. The government will call its witnesses. I think somebody came over just from the Twitter. Thank you so much. Hit that like button if you came over from X. Thank you, Allie, for dropping that. And also, Allie, if you can just drop the link over here to the channel inside that chat again over there on X, it will be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. And I guess we can just leave it running. And after each witness testifies, the defense will have an opportunity to examine the witness. Also, just to the people on our Twitter and over here on YouTube, we cannot tell. It does not tell us who likes the video as it does on X. It just says that the video just gets a like over here on YouTube. That is the difference between YouTube here in X or Twitter, formerly known as Twitter. It says who likes the video. You do have a chance to set controls over there. But even though I'm on Twitter, not really a Twitter girl, but over here on YouTube, it does not say which subscriber or which person that is not a subscriber liked the video. So it won't say who you are. That is a good thing about YouTube. Okay, now back to this reading. If that witness is also one of the witnesses the defense will call, the defendant may also examine that witness on matters relevant to its defense so that the witness does not have to testify twice. One more thing. I'm sorry, y'all. But if you do leave a comment, it will say that you left a comment. That's the different. That's the same across both social platforms. So following the government's case, the government will rest. The defendant will then have an opportunity to present a defense case should he choose to do so. The defendant here is under no obligation to present a defense. The burden remains at all times on the government to prove the elements of each offense beyond a reasonable doubt. Should the defendant present a defense case, any remaining defense witnesses will testify, and the government will have an opportunity to cross-examine them. After the evidence is completed and all sides have rested, the attorneys will give their summations. This is the opportunity for the lawyers to summarize the evidence and to give their closing arguments. Following the summations, I will give you instructions on the law, and you will then finally retire to deliberate on your verdict. I know this will be a long road, but I want to emphasize that you have a tremendously important task as jurors. It is to determine the facts. You and not the court are the sole judges of the facts. The Constitution itself recognizes your unique role in our system of justice. This is what we are trying to protect, people. The Constitution. I don't do politics, but I do believe in the Constitution. Politics, my platform remains politic free. But I believe in the Constitution and it needs to be protected at all costs. All right, back to the reading. So please pay careful attention, and that's for everyone. I want to say that the Constitution should be protected for everyone, everyone. All right. So please pay careful attention to the witnesses and evidence received at trial, as well as my instructions on the law. I thank you for your commitment to performing the civic duty and recognize the sacrifices that you have all made to be here today. We will now begin with opening statements. Thank goodness. Is the government prepared to proceed? Ms. Johnson says, yes, Your Honor. The court. All right. You may proceed. We're going to take a bathroom break so that anybody wants to travel over here and come next door over here to the YouTube, you can do so. You can also donate to the YouTube platform. Allie, I don't know if Allie has a dual. She's doing mommy duties. We'll talk about that at another time. So I will drop my link. The support is greatly appreciated. I have been upgrading the platform. And everything that you donate is appreciated and goes back into the platform. You can always hit that like button as a free way to support the channel. Any thing that you donate is greatly appreciated and put back into the channel. Let's see. Here. You can join our channel here. I have 5 additional memberships to give away for this month. I will be doing that before I start the reading also. Oh, if I would put that in the right place, I could go ahead and send it up. You can join the Survivor Bowls or Warriors by clicking that link, or you can donate to the channel by using any one of the links posted here, and that is Chime or Cash App. Thank you very much. Or, like I said, hit that like button for as a free way to support the channel. I'm just going to post my link to join the channel membership if you want, or you can donate to the channel here, or at one of these links, or hit that like button as a free way to support the channel. Thank you kindly. Um, all right, let me go down here and give away my memberships, my last 5 memberships for the month. I can't see the button down there, but there you are. Shout out if you received a membership. Over here, we have Just Mona. What up, Just Mona? Welcome to the channel. Trakisha McNeil. What up, Trakisha? What up? What up? What up? We got Becca. Becca, is that you from your other? Hold on, now, the Becca. Are you still here, Becca? Is that Becca? Is that you? Cause then I'll be the first channel. Okay, but anyway, Conspiracy Realists received a membership in Tamil. I don't want to jack your name up, but Tamil. Oh, Tammy. See that? Howman received a membership. Shout out to you guys. You have a chance to use the wonderful channel emojis, personalized emojis here on my channel by clicking on the smiley face inside the chat bar. Click on the star. It will bring up the channel emojis. Let me just share a few. This is my official channel emoji. It is a regular emoji. Maybe should I remove it from there? No, I'm not going to. Shout out to me for um, giving the last 5 free away. Those are my survivor bucks there. And these are some of my special channel emojis here. Where are we? I'm just putting up my emojis that are. These are my characters that well, the first one is actually me during time I was modeling. I just turned it into I just animated it and made it an emoji. The first picture is me. The profile picture is me. I animated it and turned it into my profile picture, but it's actually moi. And then the 3 are my characters that were created. Gangsta Viver, Mini Viver, who is also the watermark on this, and Hood Viver. She's wearing the Pooh Shiesty mask. So shout out to what we have going over here on the Survivor Speaks channel. And thank you all so much for being here. So let's get back to the reading of. We're going to read the opening statements, and then I will schedule when the next live is going to be and where we're going to be doing the next reading. Remember, let me get at Ms. Love's link. He does a reading with a full cast, and that's going to be tomorrow. He's going to do it tomorrow again at 9 p.m. He's not doing a reading tonight. I will see who is live, depending on how many people are still here in the chat. And I'll do a redirect over to their channel if you want to hear. I think Tisa Tells is live, and she's awesome. So let me go ahead and do the opening statement. And yeah, I will redirect to Tisa's channel. She did shout out Survivor Speaks channel on the other day. And I think she's doing a wonderful job. Like I said, she has a big platform, but she's not afraid to shout out small YouTubers or put YouTubers on her page and let them talk if they're outside the courtroom or inside the courtroom with her, because she knows that what is for her is for her. So sharing her platforms with other content creators is not going to take away from her what she has going on. She has a lot going on right now. May God continue to protect and keep her. And here we go. So, as with all the other creators that I support. So I thank you for your comment. So let's see where we are. Miss Johnson says, yes, Your Honor, the court. All right, you may proceed. So Miss Johnson says, this is Sean Combs. I'm sure she pointed to Mr. Combs. I'm not in the courtroom, but I'm sure she did. Here he is. This is Mr. Combs. To the public, he was Puff Daddy or Diddy, a cultural icon, a businessman, larger than life. But there was another side to him, a side that ran a criminal enterprise. During this trial, you are going to hear about 20 years of the defendant's crimes. But he didn't do it alone. He had an inner circle of bodyguards and high-ranking employees who helped him commit crimes and help him cover them up. Kidnapping, arson, drug, sex, crimes, rock and roll. Oh, it doesn't say that on there. Sorry. You give love. Is that rock and roll? I like all genres, also. Don't judge Survivor Speak. I'm just a little crazy sometimes. Let's see. All right. I'm not going to tell you I got in trouble in middle school for handing a note into, I'm going to just tell on myself. I handed a note and to say happy birthday to John Bon Jovi. And the vice principal didn't know who he was. And when he said it, all of the students laughed and I got in trouble. All right. There you go. That is one of my honest moments here on the Survivor Speech channel. Here we go. Sex, crimes, robbery, and obstruction. That's what it says for real, y'all. So it says, let me start that over because I don't want y'all to mix up what I said. But what it's saying here on this transcript, it says, they help them cover up kidnapping, arson, drugs, sex crimes, bribery, and obstruction. These are just some of the crimes that the defendant and his inner circle committed again and again. You're going to hear about all of them during this trial, but hold up, wait a minute, put a little pimping in it. Shout out to Shank Rock. Shout out to Shank Rock for the $4.99. He just said, just because. Y'all go over there and follow Shank Rock over there. He is doing great coverage on the Naziah Harris case. As you all know, we are going to be covering that case over there. Shank and his supporting members, supporters of it, I am a supporter of Shank, is taking a look at the totality of things that are going on in the interim with real life interviews with real people. They can relate to Shank Rock from Baltimore. He is from Baltimore, where my love, Krishan Rock, is from Baltimore, where she finally laid the smack it down today. Shout out to her. I don't care who don't like it. Don't put no negative comments in my chat about Krishan Rock, because you will be blocked. All right? You cannot be going around here just putting out here as proof things that are, saying it matter of factly with no proof, no evidence, no transcripts, no doctor's notes, none of that. Leave that baby alone. I still have up a petition from months. It may be, is it a year ago? Stop bullying this baby. But Shank Rock is from Baltimore. It's funny, I might add. Y'all better leave my Shank alone. And stop going over there and putting all them syllables over there in his chat for him to read. Now stop it. Shout out to you, Shank. I love you over here. I don't care who don't like you. I love you. All right. Let's get back to this. Allie over here said, Allie is on it. Big shout out to Shank Rock for the super sticker. It is greatly appreciated. If you're over here on YouTube, drop some Survivor bucks in the chat for Shank Rock, because he might have to take off, y'all. And I'm sorry, y'all gonna have to just endure. I need to just play this for Shank Rock real quick. Hold on 1 minute, y'all. We'll be right back. Hold on, I gotta play this when anybody donates. We do Show them love and support over here. We got a special little video for you, Shank. Hold on, just in case you got to run. Hold on. Hold on, man. Hold on. We don't need that one yet.
Super chat or super ship. I love you all.
Here you go, Dale. Survivor we trust and survivor we do. Yeah. So there I go for trying to, be all technology, like technical stuff. Like Shank, you done came over here and whoa for me. Tech savvy. There you go. There I go for trying to be all tech savvy. I done hit the daggone wrong button. Okay, let's get back to this reading. So let's start now with just one night. The defendant was on the hunt for his girlfriend, a woman named Cassie. For years, the defendant physically abused Cassie. He also sexually, YouTube doesn't like that word, even though it is in the transcript, actually exploited her, forcing her to have sex with male escorts. Lord help me now. I might need that reset. Maybe my subconscious knew I was going to need it. That's why I did that. But all right. So he also actually exploited her, forcing her to have sex with male escorts while he watched and recorded it. But that night, the defendant learned he had lost control of Cassie. He found out Cassie was seeing another man. Shout out to Alex Fine, y'all. I don't give a damn who don't like him. Shout out to Alex Fine, because he did what nobody else would do. And he said, I'm not going nowhere. Puff Daddy, brother, love, P. Diddy, love on love, whatever your goddamn name is. I'm going to stick beside her. And when she said enough is enough, I'm going to show her what a real man is and put a ring on it. Change your last name and show you what it's supposed to. That's the collection plate, boy. Sorry, y'all. He found out Cassie was seeing another man. Furious, he set out to find Cassie and that other man, but he couldn't do it by himself. So wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Let me backtrack. This may be about the arson. I'm sorry, Alex. I'm not going to put Alex on the show. Shout out to Alex Fine. Okay, anyhow, this may be about Kid Cudi. She does deserve to date. Do she want to date when she's not in a relationship with you, when you would not even, I'm getting a little ahead in the trial. You wouldn't claim her though. You would claim her in front of the world because she was a trophy piece. But you always had a couple of side pieces on the side. Amen. And let the church say amen and amen. Furious, he set out to find Cassie and that other man, but he couldn't do it by himself. So he took his pal and he took his bodyguard. I don't know which one. Lord, I don't know which one that was, but there's many. And there's some talking here on the YouTube. They wouldn't shout me out on their channel without donation. So I won't be doing none of that over here today. One of his most loyal lieutenants to wake up one of the defendant's employees in the middle of the night. The defendant yelled that he was going to unalive the man. Y'all over there on the Twitter, we can't say certain words over here on the YouTube. So I know what it says, but we got to say unalive the man Cassie was with. He demanded that his employee take him to that man's home. The defendant forced the employee out of her apartment and into an SUV. And I'm not talking about, that's SW. Okay, an SUV, that is the car. They drove to the house. The defendant and his bodyguard broke in, but no one was there. The defendant didn't give up. He kept looking for Cassie. When he finally found her, he did what he had done countless times before. He beat her brutally, kicking her in the back and flinging her around like a rag doll. All of the violence wasn't enough, though. The defendant had to make sure he had control over Cassie once again. So he threatened her. The defendant told Cassie that if she defied him again, he would publicly release the videos of her having sex with a male escort that he kept as blackmail, souvenirs of the most humiliating nights of her life. And as we all know from today's testimony and what was shared with us, he's talking about Kid Cudi right here. Because her mama said her and Kid Cudi, she had came up to visit and they were together on this night. Okay, so we just on opening statements. We're going to get there. So this was just one night in the defendant's 2 decades of crime. Child, hold on a minute. Survivor, you was that tired last night that when you was preparing these documents, you didn't put your watermark on that. Now, see, I told y'all in the beginning here, these documents, I'm not going to take it from the man, but a little pool, like, you donate to the man a little pool, you get the documents. These documents is expensive. So I had to donate to get them. So I'll be daggone if I'm going to put it up here for somebody to be screenshotting it. Unless it's probably, yeah. So Survivor Speak going to have to come on over here. I'm going to have to come on over here and let y'all know I got the transcripts. I'm just reading through the opening statements. I didn't put a watermark on it. Sorry. Let me take this off the stage because you can't copy and be screenshot and all that. So I'll just read from here. Lord God, you didn't put no watermark on this. You want copies of the transcripts? Send me. Can you drop my email in the chat and I'll direct you to where to go, where you can get them. Just give a little donation. This transcript is expensive. All right, so he threatened the defendant, told Cassie that if she defied him again, he would publicly release the videos. We went through all of that. So this was just one night in the defendant's 2 decades of crime. And one night, he and his lieutenant kidnapped an employee, broke into a man's house, and the defendant beat and blackmailed his girlfriend. And as you will learn, this was just the tip of the iceberg. These are not the only crimes the defendant committed. That's not the only time he someone. And Cassie is not the only woman he beat or actually exploited. So I'm going to interject right here and say, everybody that's saying that, there's so many men, it's okay. So many men have beat their girlfriends. It seems like he on trial for beating. Right now, they are on victim number 1. She's the first victim in the case. She's victim number 1. So what they're talking about now is the case of victim number 1. So those that don't understand, Dawn's testimony, yes, she was testifying on behalf of victim number 1. I can't believe how that went over some people's head. And some people are just so excited. This whole trial so far is only about victim number 1. They have not introduced or interwoven the other victims, and they have already started proving the RICO case for you that don't like to read the law and look into the law yourself. And those of you that are still hypnotized by somebody who is a celebrity thinking that they cannot be both and both can't be true at the same time. Come on, somebody, because Survivor Speaks is preaching right about now. I am preaching to the church. Both can be true at the same time. Now, what I don't believe is because the trial is about Sean Combs, a.k.a. P. Diddy, brother love on top of love on top, Tucci on the bottom. I don't know what's going on today. But I don't like the fact when people start saying, oh, yeah, because he on trial, Jay-Z. No, see, that's where we draw the line at. When they bring a case against that man, that's when you look at it legally from that angle. Well, I don't believe that people every time people announce him, they automatically bring in, Jay-Z, that he don't have nothing to do with. Well, Beyonce, until they come up in the trial, until they are charged with something. No, that's not how this goes. Thank God Survivor Speaks, mama. Raised her the way she raised her. Because I'm going to give y'all a little story of my own, but I digress. Let me go ahead and keep reading from the transcripts, the court transcripts, the court documents, if you will. All right, Allie, did you drop the email? Like anybody wants to know, I will direct you to the man. Shank, we can talk later, all right? But anybody else? Shank Brock, anybody else? Shank Brock, you reach out to me. But anybody else, you got to go through the email. All right? If you were gifted a membership, there you go. Thank you, Allie. If we could just get that email just in case anybody's, wants to know how to get a hold of the transcripts. Because I got to mark the rest of these up tonight. Like, Lord, your girl was, got a family ongoing emergency going on. So don't judge me. And so I'm grateful and lucky to be here right tonight, reading a transcript. All right, there you go. And I got my own stuff going on, but today's not about me. It's about these transcripts. There you go. If you want to, just email me at this email. I may not check today because after this live, Atmos Love is not going live. If we could get Atmos Love his channel, please, because he's doing a reaction with a whole panel of people. And he's going to resume tomorrow. And I love what they do over there on his channel. Like now, he just came back. He did what he was famous for, the R. Kelly readings of the transcripts with his crew. And just like that, his crew just jumped right back in. Everybody went, that I know that was, over there with Atmos when he was doing the R. Kelly transcripts. And I loved it over there. And he also he got a play going on right now. Listen, I need to Atmos. I'm gonna sing a little. Where's this play going on at? Because Survivor Speaks is, I may have to send you over a little something, Atmos Love. I'm not acting no more, not doing none of that, none of that stuff no more. But your girl was, and while we at it, one more thing, and we're gonna get back to these transcripts because we're not gonna be here too much longer. But I gotta, your girl. I also have a book right there. You just scan the QR code. Scar Surviving Strong, Overcoming Triple Negative Breast Cancer with the Resilient Mindset. Now it won't be sent from me, but it will be sent from the precious Amazon, if you will. I know right now Allie is dropping the link in the chat, but and Restream, don't send me nothing talking about y'all sharing it in the chat because I never see it. Nessa C says she need a dang on replay. Okay, Nessa C is my mod. She, like I told y'all, she's an Instagrammer, but she is she has a rich over here too. So she just, I know your phone was bing 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 bing. I know. So anyway, let's get back to the transcript though. But anyway, that was my book. You can support Survivor Speaks. Maybe I'll put the book on sale. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Maybe one of these readings of this, maybe I'll do a giveaway. Who knows what I'll be feeling like? But so let's get back to this. So for 20 years, so Cassie is not the only woman that he beat or actually exploited. Thank you for that, Allie. Allie put the link to my book in the chat. So for 20 years, the defendant, with the help of his trusted inner circle, committed crime after crime. That's why we are here today. That's what this case is about. 20 years. Oh, so Restreams share the link. Oh, okay. So I'm getting a little confused. It did. Excuse me. So 20 years of crime is a lot to cover. So first, I'm going to walk you through what the evidence in this case will show. Then I will explain a little bit about the charges. And then I will tell you how the government will prove that the defendant is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So what will the evidence show? You'll learn that the defendant was a musician who created an empire. And I got to just say it right here because today they introduced evidence where He used his crime and co-mingled it with Bad Boy Records. Y'all gotta brush up on the law. So see, Survivor, my first career, at first I wanted to be a lawyer. Then I said, hell no, to the no, 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 hell to the no. So I'm a true crime buff. That's what I am. I it's overboard when it comes to true crime. When it comes to me, fortunately, this is a true crime here. I don't really do like celebrity gossip, but true crime, your girl is all over it. So here we go. So you'll learn that the defendant was a musician who created an empire. He had a record label, Bad Boy Records, and other businesses that he ran or controlled. Those businesses made the defendant rich. He was a billionaire, y'all. Lord. And he used money and resources from those companies to build his reputation and to every desire. To do that, he relied on an inner circle of people closest to him, like his bodyguards, chiefs of staff, and other high ranking employees who ran all aspects of his life. You see, they use that term a lot in the gang culture. Yeah, the things that the things that you weave together when you read them for yourself. Together, the group worked to promote the defendant's power. They carefully cultivated and guarded his reputation, and they worked to get the defendant everything he wanted. He sometimes called himself the king. You ain't the king, I think. Is that? Child, I'm going to be quiet. The king is the Lord out here. You see what I'm saying? Because the other king that's still on earth, we're going to leave him out of this. And he expected that's what he called himself. My king is the Lord. Okay. So, and he expected to be treated like one. He expected his inner circle to cater to his every desire, including his sexual desires. For years, the defendant used his inner circle and his company's resources to actually exploit multiple women, including women he forced and manipulated into having eggs with male escorts. Lord, we can say escorts over here on the YouTube. Escorts, that is, not egg escorts. But he had forced them to have eggs. Lord, meaning men who the defendant paid to have sex with women while he watched. No matter what, the defendant and his inner circle made sure he got everything he wanted. Many times that involved committing crimes together. We gonna go together. That's okay. And then covering up those crimes. Those crimes included violent acts, like when the defendant brought his bodyguard and his pow to kidnap the employee I mentioned earlier. But y'all hear about other violence too, like when the defendant's bodyguards kidnapped the same employee another time. Y'all, forcing her to sit through days of lie detector tests. Child, I didn't hear this now. I heard it last night because I was in Atmos Love's chat. But child, or when the defendant had a man's car set on the fire. Now we heard of this over and over again as a rumor. And this is not facts. This is opening statement. This is what the United States has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. The court, United States versus, that's what it says. The United States is speaking right about now. The courts versus Sean P. Diddy, Love, Diddy on top, to your own bottom. I'm sorry, y'all. So, on fire or when the defendant dangled a woman over a balcony. That was Cassie's friend. We heard about that in the rumor mill as well, too. Before they bringing it to the courtroom. All right. You'll see and hear evidence of all of this. Lord, is she getting on the stand? Lord, he left her alive to tell. Is she going to be, is she, child, is that the best? Because one of the best friends testified on yesterday, child. The defendant had impossible demands when his employees failed to meet those demands. The defendant threw things at them, threatened them, hit them, or pressured them to take not the 2G, not the not the pill, but the drugs. The can we say drugs on YouTube? YouTube is a special kind of place. They're gonna strike my video until I claim my own music playing in the background. Stay a special. Shout out to y'all YouTube. Sometimes I think y'all flag my video because y'all don't want to send me a check. Anywho, he even actually assaulted one of them. You'll also hear how the defendant used to get and distribute drugs. They delivered those drugs whenever the defendant asked, including so he could give those same drugs to the women he was forcing to have eggs with male escorts. He transported those women and those escorts across state lines. See, y'all thought he had to transport them from country to country? No, from state to state. He was out there putting his love on top, if you will. All right, I can't hit the reset button because we've been here a long time already. So I'm going to reset my mind. All right. Fix it. Fix it, Jesus. He transported those women and those eggs, escorts across state lines and even out, and even out of the country for those eggs. We go together real bad. And he uses, if you look good, act bad. If you look good, act bad. If you look good, act bad. Objection. Survivor speaks. I ain't got no sense, y'all, but if you act up, you can get what's some of that his rambo. If you act up, you can get if you act up, you can. And he used his inner circle and the vast resources of his business empire to help to arrange those trips and make the women available to him. Let me be very clear on this next point. This case is not about a celebrity's private sexual preferences. Do the shaking challenge. Do the shaking. What? Who sing that? This. Who is the shaking challenge? Who is that? Who do the shake? Oh, I'm sorry. And he uses it. Let me be very clear on this next point. This case is not about a celebrity's private actual preferences. The evidence will show that the actual conduct at issue in this case was coercive and criminal. Because the defendant made women have X when they did not want to, because he threatened them, he drugged them, he drugged help. Come on now. The court reporter's thing was, is she listening to this? Oh, was clogged up, I think. He drugged help. Okay, he drugged the help. Okay, maybe he drugged. He lied to them and he even used violence to make them do it. A lot of this trial will focus on just two of those women, Cassie, who I talked about earlier, and Jane. Hold on, y'all. Ebony, child, you are loud. Sorry, y'all. She way downstairs, so I don't know why I hear her up here or in my ear. Some of the details of what happened to Cassie and Jane may be hard to hear. Now, of course, Jane is a pseudonym. Who is Jane? We don't know. But this is what the evidence will show happened. The defendant is just two. They just need two people, I guess, to Lord. The defendant used lies, drugs, threats, and violence to force and coerce first Cassie and later Jane. to have eggs with him in front of male eggs escorts. Lord, get the eggs out my head. I'm not gonna look at eggs the same no more. But child, throw all the eggs away. The defendant insisted that the eggs occur in a very specific, highly orchestrated way. These egg roll performances lasted multiple days and they involved multiple escorts. The defendant called these encounters by different names over the years. First, freak offs. Later, wild king nights or hotel nights. Week after week, the defendant directed freak offs in hotels across the country and sometimes out of the country. At times, the defendant had escorts, and the women traveled from out of state. So the defendant's staff sometimes organized flights, cars, and hotels. The defendant's businesses paid those expenses. The defendant had particular demands for freak offs. At his direction, the defendant's staff set up the room in advance with supplies like his preferred lighting. Child, they done showed the lighting when Lord, they made the pictures public. That's why y'all gotta go over there to Tisa, because she done showed the pictures, and he had the light. He had the light in the pictures as the evidence they showed. Yesterday, the evidence showed child the lighting when he was in the hotel room for 3 hours only, and they arrested P. Diddy, brother Love, Puff Daddy. Love on top, Tucci on bottom, Lord, extra linens and lubricant. 1,000 bottles of baby oil. This is what they said they found in one of his houses when they did the raids. Throw the baby oil in the garbage. We don't have no baby oil in this house. So we threw it away after the raids. Throw the do we have we only we losing we using lotion only from this point only. Do we have we don't have no baby oil here. Thank you. Whew, child, he had lighting. Extra linens and lubricant. His staff remained on call to refresh anything the defendant needed, like cash to pay the escorts. Oh, witness number one was an escort. But we're not going to get to that today. Oh, Lord, he was a male escort. And let's not forget about, Lord, the escort that's locked up for powing up the Trump little. In 2014, they thought he was Looney Tunes. Jonathan Odie, is he testifying in this case? Shout out to the men and the ladies that's been keeping him alive all these years behind the wall. Okay, let me get back to over here. I just want to cry a little bit. If y'all didn't see that video, it's somewhere way down here in this video. Because at the time, they thought the man was crazy. What are you talking about? Now, why did you go over there and pow up that man's the place where he got his name up there so beautifully? Why did you do that? I was a slave of Diddy. Are you talking about the celebrity? Yes, for him and Cassie. I had with them many times. All right, we need you to come back to earth because you're crazy. But is he? Oh, my goodness. Woo! So that he paid for the drugs for the women. The defendant, the hotel rooms were dark. The defendant instructed Cassie and Jane how to dress in lingerie, not lingerie, lingerie. Wear tall platform high heels and have manicured white nails. I need to go back and look at those. Did Active have white nails, y'all, when she was down there in the barbecue? Got flued out. I got flued out. Look at my face. I got flued out, but I'm hurt. I got child. Hold on, y'all. Let me. That's when I know it's time to go, child, because my camera done said, you know what, Survivor, just enough is enough. Like, yeah, just act up, you can get smacked up. Whatever, act up, you can get smacked. What? Act up, you can get, hey. Hey, Lord. It's not funny, y'all, but I'm just thinking, my mind, like, don't tell Survivor that, because my mind get to going. And child, I'm reading this for the first time with y'all. Listen to it over there last night, but read it. Oh man, it's something totally different. Child. It just brings like all types of songs to my head. I'm sorry, like listen, y'all don't play none of the songs that I'm singing in the background. I've been just saying it as I'm reading. Certain songs is just popping into my brain. And I just start singing. Act up, you can get, hey, act up, you can get, and so yeah. Anywho, the white nails. I'm gonna have to check for that. Like I'm nosy, y'all. I can't tell y'all what I'm talking about, but some of y'all can read the laws. I'm gonna check. The defendant selected drugs for Cassie and Jay's to take, usually MDMA. Yeah, anybody know what that is? Because I'm so when it comes to and the Bible speaks and you know about these drugs, okay? Anybody know what? And you don't have to use drugs. Let me. Do I have to act? Because you know your girl will pull out. Chat. Yeah, and a couple of those. I know a couple of them, not just them. But I'm not. They ain't paying me, so I'm not. I'm not giving them no. Uh, as a matter of fact, this is what I need to be doing. They ain't paying me either. Turn that around. So the defendant and Jane, MDMA, also known, oh, it's Molly or ecstasy. Okay, Molly or ecstasy. I got it, y'all. Y'all I ain't gotta ask nobody. There you go. Sometimes those drugs made Cassie and Jane sick, but they also made the women more uninhibited and sexually aroused. The defendant fed Cassie and Jane drugs throughout so they could stay awake and perform for him for hours and days at a time. Ouch. Once an escort arrived, the defendant dictated every step of the sexual activity that followed. Sexual activity that followed the same pattern. And he expected the women to enjoy themselves, to appear to while they did it. The defendant, uh, he, uh, I don't know if I can say this word here on the YouTube, but he pleasured himself throughout the freak offs. All right, there you go. And often video recorded part of them. What? Now I want to tell you more about Cassie and about Jane. Cassie was a 19-year-old model and aspiring singer. She met the defendant in 2006. The defendant was 17 years older than her and the head of a record label. Soon, Cassie was signed to a 10-album deal with that label. The defendant pursued Cassie, and within a year, they were dating. They stayed together on and off until about 2018. It is she gonna say it in here, Cassie made one album. You kept her on the hook with 9. Kept during that time, Cassie tried to work on her music and in modeling and acting, but the defendant made her turn down many opportunities. Instead, he paid for Cassie's cars, her apartments, and some of her day-to-day expenses. Although Cassie recorded music constantly, the defendant, the head of her record label, had the final say on the music that she released. There was never another album. Child. There you go. The defendant started abusing Cassie early on. Initially, Cassie fought back. But time and again, the defendant hit Cassie in the head, threw her to the ground, and kicked her and dragged her by the hair. In 2009, the defendant threw Cassie to the floor of an SUV and stomped repeatedly on her face. To hide her injuries, the defendant forced Cassie to stay in a hotel for the next week. He refused to let her leave, and he had a staff to make sure she stayed put. The defendant also introduced Cassie to freak offs early on. Soon, the defendant made it Cassie's job to find and book escorts for freak offs. Child, this is too dang much. So reading this with in conjunction with hearing, the content creators that are there that are putting out the truth, and some of the news stations that are putting out the truth, reading this gives you more clarity on what they're talking about, because they can only talk about so much and report so much without reading the transcript. So that's why I've watched Tisa Tell's commentary regarding the trial. And so that's where I go for that. So freak offs that were happening as often as once a week for days at a time, meaning that for almost half of every week, Cassie was in a dark hotel room, high and awake for days, performing acts that she did not want to do on male escorts. Cassie will tell you how she felt like she was choking when the defendant made an escort urinate in her mouth, and how she overdosed at a freak off when she still had an open wound on her face from the defendant's most recent assault. So I played it of Jonathan Audi, a recent interview last week, shared it on the Disclaimer Act here, and he actually took a secret video because he did not want the Diddy guy to say that he unalived Cassie or someone else during these goddamn freak offs. All right, and I have to upload my captions now that I'm looking at it flying through, because where is shout out to the Shane Strong. Here we go. Gotta get him in the banner here for donation sponsoring today's. All right, so I looked at the banner. Cassie will tell you how she felt like she was choking. I don't want to say that again. And how she overdosed at a freak off when she still had an open wound. We read that. So the defendant's physical attacks on Cassie happened at freak offs too. As you will see on video during this trial, the defendant hit Cassie in the hallway of an LA hotel, trying to drag her back to the room where there had been an escort. We'll talk more about that video later. He was, just to let you guys know, he was, what do you call that? Witness number one. The eggs court that was actually in the room at the time, where they tried to say nobody else was in the room. How could you see in a room? He got on the stand and he testified he was witness number one. So Cassie tried the first freak off because she loved the defendant and wanted to make him happy. After that, she knew it was not something she wanted to do, but because of the defendant, it became almost everything she did. Because Cassie didn't do what the defendant wanted, the consequences were severe. Physically, the defendant beat her viciously, exploding over even the tiniest slight and beating her to show who was in charge. He beat her when she didn't answer the phone when he called. He beat her when she left a freak off without his permission. He beat her when he thought she took too long in the bathroom. The defendant taught Cassie that defying him could and often would end in violence. And when she tried to run away, he always found her, often with the help of his inner circle. Ali said under the MF in prison, he needs to go in quick. And let me look for Ali's trigger warning. Thank you so much here. And just leave that up here on the screen. He often found her with the help of his inner circle, and Cassie's career, livelihood were also in the defendant's hands, something the defendant made clear to Cassie. He told her he could destroy her career by releasing the videos that he recorded of her performing acts on dozens and dozens of male escorts. So Cassie knew that failing to please the defendant, refusing his demands, had more than just physical consequences. He had the power to ruin her life. The defendant's control, the defendant's violence, and the defendant's threats. And that is how the defendant ensured Cassie could not say no to him. So time and time again, when the defendant suggested to Cassie that they have a freak off, she knew she had no choice but to agree and went to work setting one up. She texted the escorts, arranged for them to come to hotels, and put on the performance the defendant wanted. Her livelihood and her safety depended on keeping him happy. Cassie's relationship with the defendant was complicated. You will hear during this trial that both Cassie and the defendant were unfaithful, jealous, and at times angry. But only one of them had power. Only one had control, and that was the defendant. And with that power and with that control, he made Cassie do his bidding in those dark hotel rooms. So Nesta C said yes. She said they said she wanted to stay. These people they listen. I already knew about Alex Fine, her husband, way before this. I heard the story. His mother is a DV survivor, and that is one of the reasons why he stuck beside her. But it was ultimately Cassie standing up for Cassie. He said that, but he stuck, you know, in there till Cassie was brave enough and ready enough to stand up for Cassie, and he had her back. Period, point blank in the story. And that is her husband and the father of her 2 children, soon to be 3rd child. But only one of them had power, only one had control, and that was the defendant. And with that power and with that control, he made Cassie do his bidding in those dark hotel rooms. And I will say this: those of us that are believers of the Lord are quick to judge sometimes. Sometimes you open up your mouth and you say things like that you shouldn't say. And you have to remember that God uses all types of people to get to garner his attention. Those of you who understand what I just said. And so when we are talking about we are believers of the Lord Jesus Christ, whoever you believe in, whoever you serve, whichever person you call God, Allah, Buddha, Christian, whoever you believe in, whoever you're believing in, when you start to have these types of judgments about who God used to come forth and bring someone what somebody does in the dark to light, because you only see the person in the light. You never see the dark side of him. You just hear, oh, it's just a rumor. Oh, he's just a black man. They're trying to take his power. Oh, every time this turns to this and this turns to this. And some of it could be true. But I'm talking about as people, as Christians, that are quick to freaking judge all the freaking time. I had a conversation with a doctor, and she said, how could that man marry her? And you want me to believe that on Sunday you put on your Sunday's best and go sit up in church, but you're questioning God's plan. I'm going to just say that and just leave it right there, because listen, we're not the same when it comes to that. I'm reading the facts from this transcript. When I leave here and close my eyes permanently, I have to go before the Lord by myself. And that's what some people need to understand. And that's what some Christians need to understand and stop Christianing sometime. You didn't come to the Lord whole. You didn't come, when I say whole, I don't mean whole. You didn't come to the Lord whole. Lord, I've been doing this all my life and praise your name. You didn't come like that. You came with some baggage. So stop. And being a survivor of DV just the one time, because my mama taught me, when a man put his hand on you once, he's going to keep doing it over and over and over again. Everybody's not strong as Survivor Speaks. I walk away. Some people not as strong as I am. They didn't have a mama to tell them, you ain't never seen a man put his hand on me. Don't let no man put his hand on you. And you better not let no man put his hand. That's what my mama taught me. So it took the one time, and I'm out of there, baby. Yep. I'm going to pack up my kizar. See you in cut. Brother man. Sorry to bring the white man in. But we legally, we need to be unlegally. And that was it for Survivor Speaks. I can't take it. So my one time to cast these 20 years, feel like somebody was choking the life out of me. One time. Listen, I ain't gonna be able to do it. That's not how my mama raised me. Okay? So shout out to Chloe. Albert's Revenge. Hey, long time no see, but shout out to my mom, Chloe. Glad to see that you're here. We're just reading through the opening statements here on the transcript. The reason why it's not on the screen because Father was dying. I didn't put my watermark on these. And if anybody wants these transcripts, you got to put it on the pile. I'll direct you to the man that paid good money for these transcripts. And put it on the pot because, you're not going to support the channel. You got to support somebody. Come on, somebody. This is a little church for you. 20 years. Yes, 20 years. 2 decades. I wouldn't be able to do it. But everybody, like I said, everybody is not as strong-minded as Survivor Speaks. And that's just that on that. So let's continue so we can get through these opening statements because we still got the other side. Chloe Alberts, chime in. Now, Chloe Alberts is here, y'all. Now, y'all know Maha and the transcripts, yes, they are, baby girl, but these transcripts call for Monty, and the people got to put it on the pot if they want them. I can direct them to where they can get them from. But yeah, they got to put it on the pot. I mean, it is what it is. Like, people don't support the channel, they're going to have to support, something. But I had the transcripts up, but I didn't mark up these, so nobody won't be screenshotting, going on there, just showing it there. For like now, we can't get support other ways. So support this man that waited. Not all of the transcripts out. These are just the release portion of the transcripts. So this is the opening statement. For the both parts, and I have partial. Let me look down here and see. This transcript is long, child. When I tell you, that's why we're not getting into the whole transcript. But I'll do that later. So here you go. So let's get through this. So where is see, here we go. Where is Allie at? Here you go. Thank you kindly, Allie. So that's for the trigger warning. So thank you. So and with that, so we are talking about Cassie, and he made Cassie do his bidding in those dark hotel rooms. So you'll learn that Cassie was not the only woman the defendant did this to. This was part of a pattern. Now I want to tell you about Jane. Jane was a single mom who started spending time with the defendant in 2020. The defendant pursued and romanced Jane, who fell in love with him quickly. Jane was not seeing other men, but the defendant was seeing other women at the time, so his relationship with Jane was not at all public. Who is that? And so they're using the pseudonym here. They did not make her reveal who she is. So so she's going to be probably testifying, I believe, under a pseudonym as well. They said that the judge said that in the beginning. Remember, some people will be testifying under a pseudonym. That does not make them less credible. I guess it was something that he said it was something that the district attorneys, the defendants and his $10 million team, and they came to agreement on. Now, like I said, Brian Steele and the Honorable Brian Steele and the honorable is she honorable? Miss Nicole Westmoreland were additions to the case. And they're doing what they're doing, but there's a lot going on. I'm just, Nicole cross-examined Dawn yesterday, and it is a testament to why I'm saying she's the great woman that she is, and I'm trying. I have I have in my thoughts why she was added to the defense team, and also Brian Steele as well. During her cross-examination, though, she asked very specific questions, and according to Tisa Tells, who is in the courtroom, the prosecution did a great job of clearing up, the questions that she asked. But Nicole Westmoreland and Brian Steele are excellent attorneys. But they said that P. Diddy, aka Brother Love, Puff Daddy, Diddy, Love on top, Tucci on bottom, um, couldn't control himself and showed his anger in the courtroom in front of the jury and isolated himself away from his team. But Brian still wasn't in the courtroom at the time. And Brian still ain't know what was going on because he had stepped up, but he stepped back in and then said something to Mr. Brother Love. And I don't know what he said back to him, but he went over there with the other attorneys, like, which is a stark contrast to when he was counsel for the Honorable, and I say that, Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug. They was here. So, uh-huh. And then just one day you do that to your whole team, but the people out here, even if even some of them that was in the courtroom or in the overflow room, we didn't see that. We didn't see. Y'all didn't see the smoke. Y'all didn't see the smoke detectors go off in the water. Pour down. Uncontrollable. You got a $10 million defense team. Let them do their job. But nope. Nope. Just that one day they can look back and be like, you know what? He kind of showed us that. You got to be careful. That's all I'm saying. Somebody go over there in R1 in the defendant's aisle and tell him to sit down and let them lawyers lawyer. He don't have a law degree. Anywho, because they don't have mirrors in the cells, even in the feds. But look into that silver piece of aluminum that they have up there, because you can still see yourself through there. And try to have a talk with yourself for the rest of this court case. It looks like you did well today. They said you looked defeated yesterday and today. Parts of yesterday, after Nicole Westmoreland got up there and said what Dawn had all, and then the prosecution got back there up there and let them do their job. Stop telling these people. Stop putting fear in these people. I can hear them. I'm paying you, motherfucker, $10 million. Y'all got me out here in this field looking like that. Look like I'm gonna get some money. So they up there asking the dumb questions that you telling them to ask, and it's very obvious that when they stepped up, they said Nicole Westmoreland was like, Diddy was like, and Nicole Westmoreland was like, okay, and but them other attorneys, and then you blow up the car because she was cheating on you. Was the car blown up because she was cheating on you? Blowed up the car because she was cheating on you? Wasn't you cheating? That's why he blew up the car. Could we clarify that you was cheating? That's why the car was blown up. Questions. He want to put this girl back on. This is my last time. You might as well just have did the Darryl Brooks. Just go in there to represent yourself. That's all. Darryl Brooks got more cahoots. Okay? Because Darryl Brooks like, listen, I don't want none of y'all public defenders. I don't care if y'all give me a private attorney. God daggone it. I am the honorable, and I got a law degree. Pro se. I mean pro per. And I'm going to represent myself better than any of you that went to school and studied all these years and paying all this money. I'm going to represent myself. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to do it again. That fool is representing himself for a second time. We are hope to be covering that over here, auntie. And you know what? I should, after this live, I should, I probably do have an update about that. I'm just my email. I'm just a little okay. I got a ongoing family emergency going on. Don't judge me. Um. So let's go. So we're talking about Jane now. Let's put Cassie on the. Let's put her to the side. Let her go through the rest of her pregnancy in peace. And shout out to you, Cassie, for finally standing up and taking some more of your power back. It is not just the bank account for everybody. So he paid her, so that should be enough. Act up, you can get smacked. I don't know why that song just stuck. Child, if you look good at that, is that two different songs? If you look good at that, if you look good at, okay. For the first few months, their sex life was just the two of them, and Jane was happy. That wasn't until the defendant introduced Jane to the freak offs. Lord, he done brought Jane to the freak off, a single mother to the freak off. One night when they had already taken drugs and been having eggs for hours, the defendant told Jane about freak offs. Jane agreed to try one. I'm going to try sexual. I'm going to try sexual. I'll try anything. To make the defendant happy, to her surprise, the defendant said he would make it happen immediately that very same night. He took her to a hotel where a room was already set up and an escort was on the way. Jane was nervous and the defendant directed her step by step. Jane thought the first freak off was a one-time wild night. Jane was wrong. I might have to just break this up into this is going to be the end of this live when the opening statement of the freaking attorney, and I might have to come back for the defense side. Listen. The defendant couldn't continue asking Jane to have freak offs and promising that if she did, they would spend quality time together. They would go on dates together. They would go on trips. That was what Jane wanted more than anything, a real relationship. So she agreed. She helped freak offs and reach out to escorts. But even though the defendant promised her quality time and trips, he never delivered. Those were just lies, he told her, to get more nights in dark hotel rooms with escorts. Jane will tell you about those nights in detail, how she wanted the escorts to wear condoms, but many times the defendant did not let them. Oh, Lord. And Jane will tell you how he had her take drugs to stay awake and aroused for days. Jane tried twice to make it through these nights without drugs. The first time she broke down and had took ecstasy to finish performing for the defendant. The second time, Jane vomited after having sex with one escort. How did the defendant respond? He told her to hurry up and get back into the room where another escort was waiting. Lord, take the wheel. Just take it. Just take the whole wheel, nothing but the wheel. Early on, Jane told the defendant that she didn't like freak offs and she wanted to be alone with him. She loved him desperately and wanted a real relationship with him. The defendant did not listen. Feeling stuck and sick of the strangers, the defendant kept bringing to these hotel rooms. Jane tried to assert herself in small ways. She found two men who performed in corn, and she invited them to join the freak offs. That way, Jane could at least choose the other man she was forced to be intimate with, like he did with Cassie. The defendant eventually took steps to control Jane financially. The defendant wanted Jane to bill him at a moment's notice, and he discouraged her from working. Was that Jane in the room when he got arrested? Child, that is going to be, if that was Jane's income plummeted. The defendant gave Jane money and later started paying the rent for the house that she lived with her child. That way, when Jane resisted the freak offs and told him over and over that she wanted to stop, He had the power to coerce her back into the hotel rooms. And just as he had with Cassie, the defendant threatened Jane with the videos he recorded of her engaging in eggs acts with the escorts. Throw out, we're not eating no more eggs. This God dog it, I don't know why we can't say the word here on YouTube. But the lies and the drugs and the threats were not the end of it. Not even a year ago today, Jane had the worst day of her life. A year ago today. The defendant came to Jane's house for an at-home date night. She and the defendant argued about another defendant had been seeing. Jane was upset and jealous. She had now spent years in a hotel room for forced sex while the defendant took his other girlfriend for dates and trips. Or is this, woo! Child, this is something. What? That you know they said that Miss Gina was missing. And they said that she was, child, is it? Jane hit the defendant and threw things at him. The defendant became enraged, so Jane tried to get away from him and hide. She ran to her bedroom and locked the door. He kicked it open. No, does Gina have a child? Lord. Um, She ran to her bathroom and locked the door. He kicked it open. She ran to her closet and locked the door. He kicked it open. She ran to the guest room, the guest bedroom. She had a guest bed, and locked the door. He kicked it open. She tried to run out the front door, but he grabbed her in a chokehold, lifted her off the ground by her neck, and kicked her to the ground. Later that night, they fought, and just as he had with Cassie, the defendant viciously attacked Jane. He punched her in the face, kicked her while she was curled up in a ball on the ground, dragged her by her hair and her arm, and slapped Jane's face so hard she fell over. When all of this was over, the defendant still did not let Jane be. Instead, he told Jane, "You're not going to F up my." The defendant instructed her to put on an outfit and call up an escort for a freak off. He made Jane cover her black eye and bruising. Take an ecstasy pill and perform for the defendant with that escort. Jane followed his instructions. Like with Cassie, the defendant's violence had gotten him what he wanted. The defendant's actual violence did not stop at freak-offs, though. Cassie will tell you about the time when the defendant forced himself on her, having eggs with her as she cried and repeatedly told him no. And Mia, an employee who the defendant worked to the bone for years, will tell you about the times that the defendant forced himself on her actually. Putting his hand up her dress, unzipping his pants, and forcing her to perform oral, and sneaking into her bed to penetrate her against her will. What? As I said before, the defendant had the power and the control, endless resources, and a lawyer inner circle who would stop nothing to get what he wanted. Amidst all this violence, the defendant and his inner circle had to make sure that nothing put the defendant's public image and his power at risk. So, as tirelessly as the defendant's inner circle worked to meet the defendant's every need, they also worked to cover up his crimes. Remember, the video at the LA hotel of the defendant attacking Cassie during a freak off. Remember the video at the LA hotel? It's a question of the defendant attacking Cassie during a freak off. You will hear just how far the defendant had his bodyguards and his chief of staff went to get what they thought was the only copy of that video. The defendant first tried to pay off a hotel security guard with a wad of cash in exchange for his silence. Then the defendant and his chief of staff reached out to a different hotel security guard to broker a deal. In exchange for the video from the hotel, the defendant gave the security guard a brown paper bag full of $100,000 in cash, while the defendant's bodyguard and his chief of staff stood by. This is far from the only time that the defendants in a circle tried to close ranks and do damage control. There goes the word ranks again. Ranks is normally associated in gang ranking. Get into it. You'll hear how the inner circle covered up the defendant's brutal beatings by keeping Cassie in hiding for days. You'll hear about the inner circle contacting witnesses of the defendant's abuse to feed them lies, including even after he knew about the investigation in this case. Again and again, the defendant had his inner circle try to keep the defendant's crimes out of public view to protect his reputation and to protect his power. That is what the evidence in the case will show. For all of this, the defendant is charged with multiple federal crimes. You'll hear a lot more on the charges at the end of the trial when the judge instructs you on the law and his instructions control. Well, for now, there are just a few points I want to highlight so you can have context for what you'll hear during this case. First, the defendant is charged with racketeering conspiracy based on his agreement to commit crimes as part of an enterprise. I expect the judge will tell you that an enterprise is a group of people who work together for a common purpose of engaging in a course of conduct over a time. Here, you will learn that that enterprise is the inner circle I talked about, the bodyguards and high-ranking employees like chiefs of staff. He's saying chiefs of staff. Some of these people came and went over 20 years. But I expect the evidence will show that the defendant was a through line. He remained at the top running that group, and he always had trusted bodyguards and advisors helping him. Until he met the bodyguard that has a YouTube channel. Together, they agreed to commit different crimes, including kidnapping and arson, distributing drugs to other people, exploiting employees for labor, and in Mia's case, sex, bribery, and obstruction. Eggs, trafficking, and transporting people for to be ladies of the night. I think we can say this word on YouTube, but other than that, I'll say they was ladies of the night walking around. How much? Just give me $20. How much? Just give me $40. Y'all know it. Put it all together. That's all covered by the racketeering conspiracy charge. When it's read in context, for the people that don't understand, in the back, they have been building a story over these days of the trial. They have already introduced and there have already been testimony in regards to the RICO. Y'all not getting it. It takes people to buy all of this baby oil, supply this tunchi, love on top, tunchi on bottom, all of the pills. I don't know. The United States introduced to into evidence pictures of the drug bottle actually has somebody's name on it. So whatever is presented in court is now public. It's public. So there you go. It is now public for public consumption. Anything that they haven't introduced to the court that you got your hands on, you got a problem. So the judge explained in the beginning of this case that this is now public. This case is public. It's open. It's just limited because there's too many people. So yeah. So from what I understand, they have the main room. They have an overflow room. My girl Tisa tells me up in the she would be in the main room. How about that? Shout out to her. She shouted out to you, a small YouTuber like me out the other night. Shout out Tisa. Because I'm small over here. And I thank you. Oh, I thank you. So anyhow, she shouted me out. I shout out Tisa over there. I get smile. You do her the day fix. I go on over there, Tisa. She be out there in the courtroom. Live. Listen, I'm just out here for a minute. Taking a break just to let y'all know what happened. Oh, it's fire in the courtroom this morning. Y'all got to go over there to see what she do, how she do what she do. So the defendant is also charged separately for eggs trafficking Cassie and Jane through force, fraud, or coercion. Coercion. I hate those words. Shank, you ain't the only one. I hate words like that. Coercion. Okay, coercion. I got it. But Shank knows. Shank be laughing at himself. Coercion. 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 That is it. Shank be over there laughing at himself, though. That was funny as heck. Y'all know I only can say 5 syllables. You sent me all this. But no, I can say more than 5 syllables. But shout out to Shank for that. Had me cracking up laughing. I watched this video. So again, the judge's instructions control, but I expect you will learn that fraud includes a lie about a material fact. Coercion includes threats and force includes violence. Y'all get it? Coercion includes threats and force includes violence. The defendant is charged with using all three tactics to make Cassie and Jane participate in days long drug fueled recorded sexual encounters with male escorts against their will. Finally, because y'all, I think they said that the other side was quick, but how long we been here? Yeah, it's about time. Listen, finally, he is charged with transporting Cassie, Jane, and male escorts across state lines for these sexual encounters. How will the government prove no doubt that the defendant is guilty of these crimes? You'll hear from witnesses, including Cassie and Jane. Okay, and Jane. Okay, two of the defendant's victims. Okay, so they are the two victims. They will tell you how the defendant tried to control their lives from their homes to their careers, how the defendant used his control over them, his lies, his drugs, his threats, and his violence to force and coerce them into having eggs with male escorts. Cassie and Jane will describe freak offs for you painstaking detail. They will tell you some of the most personal and painful experiences of their lives, the days they spent awake in hotel rooms, high on drugs, dressed as characters to perform the defendant's fantasy, just as he directed them to do. You'll also hear from some of the defendant's employees. You'll hear from Mia, who worked as the defendant's personal assistant for years. The employee he actually assaulted. Is that the lady that they said wouldn't respond at first? She had never made a public statement. That's what it was. Child, is that her? I got to go back. Look, a survivor is going to be busy because I got to go back and look at some child. Mia is just beginning to grapple with the times the defendant forced himself on her actually. Mia will tell you how she could not talk about what happened. That got to be her. What happened to her until recently. How she wanted to take the secret of what the defendant did to her grave. You will hear from the employee who the defendant forced into that SUV with a pow pow, from one of the defendant's chefs, and from other personal assistants. They will tell you they worked punishing hours and days for the defendant, at times without any sleep. They will tell you how the defendant ordered them to buy drugs for him, how they used all the resources at their disposal to make sure that the defendant always had everything he desired, how they were expected to keep quiet about what they saw and what they heard in the defendant's homes. Lord, take the wheel. You will learn that some of these witnesses and victims, including Cassie, have already received financial settlements from the defendant or have filed lawsuits against the defendant. But these witnesses will tell you that they trade any money from the defendant for not having been abused. Abuse is real, y'all. And if you've ever been abused, child, we're going to have to find some resources to put in the description of this video. So they will tell you how the defendant directed the actual activity between the escorts and Cassie or Jane, down to the details of how they touched each other. Oh, so Cassie met Jane and they touched each other. Chat, is that Gina? Child. Do Gina have a child? I'm gonna have to go back to the child. Lord knows, I'm gonna have to go back to the Tasha K interview. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go digging that far, y'all. God daggone it. Because nobody would have known about Gina if she didn't do the interview over there on Natasha K. If it wasn't for the child. For the 305. Putting out that act up, you could get smashed up. Hey, act up, you could put child. My head. Woo, is that her? Because she was missing. But they said they found a child. If tomorrow, I'm gonna be stalking Tisa's live tomorrow. Who want to stand today? Did she show up? Did Gina show up? Is it somebody else? Gina got a child. I'm gonna have to go over here. Tasha K, you gonna get a lot more views on that video. I gotta go over there and see that you know that she interviewed her. I blink right, y'all. My head hurt. Whew. Okay. The specific acts they performed, and all while the defendant filmed it. You will even hear from an escort who saw the defendant assault Cassie and drag her by her hair during a freak off. In addition to these witnesses, you will see documents that prove the defendant's crimes. You'll see records from hotels, car services, and airlines showing the dates and locations when the escorts and women traveled to meet the defendant for freak offs. You will see records of the physical damage the defendant and his freak offs caused the hotel rooms where he stayed. You will see dozens and dozens of text messages about freak offs, including messages from the defendant to his staff asking for more cash to pay off the escorts. Lord, you got to be more careful. Messages where the defendant tells Cassie what drugs to take and when before a freak off. Lord, take the wheel. And messages from Jane to the defendant telling him over and over again that she did not want to do freak offs. And you will see videos of some of the freak offs. The videos the defendant used to blackmail Cassie and to blackmail Jane. Those videos captured just small parts of these long performances. Some of the videos have been shown. They have been shown to the jury only. They have not been shown or made public to the public, and they will not be. They already said that. So they showed it to them, and they had a problem with the screens. They had went on break, and they fixed it, and they showed it to the jury only. You will not be seeing that anywhere. If somebody is showing the videos of them performing, then they're not supposed to have them. And if they do have them, more than likely, you better make sure that you can say where you got them from, because you didn't get them from the courts. Because remember, some of these videos are already out there. If I see the 5-0 man walk into the courtroom, or if I hear that they said that he walked up in there, I'm gonna pass on out, y'all. Y'all know who the 5-0 man is, put it all together, because he's been talking about this forever. He made some phone calls. Do you know? Yeah. He knew. Lord, if the 5-0, but they have the witness list. Have they made the witness list public yet? I don't think that he'll do it. Why can't I go in the court of law and do it? I make money from it. I don't know what you heard about me, but the FBI ain't got nothing on me. Just certain songs pop into my head. But, just my own version. And then you can hear the defendant providing direction to Cassie and Jane, and you will see Cassie and Jane do exactly what the defendant tells them to do. You will see them put on a performance high on ecstasy. You know what this crazy thing is? When this attorney get up to question the people on the stand, they don't deny none of this. It always goes to, wasn't you cheating? Was Cassie cheating? Didn't they say that Cassie was cheating? Was Cassie cheating? Was the car blown up because Cassie was cheating with him? Wasn't he? Child, come on now. Mr. West, well, they said Brian Stizzle did his thing. We already knew he was going to get up there and do his thing. And we know they said Miss Nicole Westmoreland got up there and did her thing. But the other people over there, he heated because they don't know how to take him, and they don't know what to do. That's why you got these experts over there on the team, but you inserted yourself as an attorney, and some of them scared of you. I'm telling you that Brian's still probably like, all right, I'm gonna move over here with them, but he's probably looking at you like, all right, go to jail, do not take $5. Ninja, what? Ninja, you call Brian. Brian ain't call you. Same with Miss Westmoreland. Shout out to Nicole Westmoreland. I'm gonna keep saying it. Them two over there. I don't know about the rest of the attorneys over there. I heard about the Shapiro lady. It's Alex Shapiro. Wait, hold on, y'all. What page we on? Let me go back to the top. Hold on. Did they say Alex Shapiro was in the house? And see, this is why You got to have different is it only a certain amount of attorneys available? So let me go to the beginning. Oh, Alexandra Shapiro. So he's from the Shapiro law. So that's why y'all want to every time this man is y'all want to automatically Jay-Z, Sean Carter. No, until they bring him charges. That's not what we're doing over here. You don't get one conviction for all. You got to prove that. He got to be charged with something or something like that. That's not what we're doing. Y'all, we're gonna end this y'all on this opening statement from the prosecution because listen, I'm looking at who did the opening for the oh no, that's still her. Oh heck no. We're gonna have to come back tomorrow. Yeah, from the opening from the defense. Cause child, All right. So we only up here and we still have a couple of pages. So let me get to reading. Where were we? All right. So you will see them put on a performance. So you will see Jane and Cassie put on a performance high on ecstasy where they pretend to enjoy themselves because that's what the defendant said he wanted. You will see for the yourselves the defendant's violence in its aftermath. You will see a video capturing the defendant brutally beating Cassie during a freak off at an LA hotel. You will see photos of Cassie and her injuries from the defendant's assaults. You will hear from witnesses who saw the defendant assault Cassie or saw injuries he inflicted on her. You will see photos of the damage the defendant did when he kicked in 4 doors at Jane's home, and you will see videos of Jane with bruising still on her face days after the defendant attacked her and forced her to do a freak off not even a year ago. You will see for yourself that the defendant had in his home in March. Oh, yeah, it was March of 2024. God dang on it. This was a speedy trial. So, yeah, you wanted a speedy trial. You got it. We just in May of 2025. So, when they were searched, Pow Pow's the defendant's so called med bag full of illegal drugs and freak off supplies like lubricant and platform high heels. Finally, you will see and hear evidence of how the defendant and his inner circle worked to keep his reputation and his power intact for all these years. You will see the agreement signed by the hotel security guard barring him from speaking about the $100,000 that the defendant paid him for that hotel security video. You will hear recordings of phone calls when the defendant called Jane after Cassie had filed a lawsuit. You will hear him try to manipulate Jane into saying she wanted to have freak offs. You will hear him interrupt Jane when she pushes back. Oh man, you will hear the defendant's thinly veiled references to continuing to pay for Jane's home in exchange for violence, and you will see the text messages the defendant sent to his chief of staff right after talking to Jane to make sure that Jane's rent would still be paid on time. The evidence will come in piece by piece, and it won't always come in chronological order. But by the end of this trial, when you've seen and heard all of the evidence, you will see how it all fits together. You will see how it proves that the defendant led and controlled an enterprise that enabled him and others working for him to commit many crimes. How it proves that he forced and coerced and Jane into eggs with male escorts, including by having them travel to other states and countries so those acts could happen. And you will see how all of these crimes in the empire the defendant controlled were designed to fulfill his actual desires, to protect his representation, and to keep his power. At the end of this trial, we will have the opportunity to speak with you again. But between now and then, I would ask that you do 3 things. First, please pay close attention to the evidence. Second, please follow the judge's instructions on the law. And third, please use and trust your common sense. If you do all that, you will reach the only verdict that is consistent with the law and the evidence in this case that the defendant, Sean Combs, is guilty. The court. All right. Who will be presenting opening statement? Miss Garagos. I am, Your Honor, the court. And if you're in the gallery and you have a device, use this opportunity to silence it or it will be taken. So Miss Garagos starts her opening. Let me see how many pages that she has because I think that we're gonna have to do this another. Wait a minute, did she finish? Nope. All right. So Miss Garagos, her statement, they said it was short. It's not. It probably seemed short because she was speaking, and so yeah. Mm-mm. I'm gonna have to schedule this live for a different time. Um, for the opening of the defense. I will schedule it. I just need to make sure that I'll do it in advance like I did for this one. Shout out to everyone that is on Twitter, formerly known as X. I hope you will all come and like the video. And you will watch out for part two, which will be the opening from the defense. It is quite lengthy. So I've been here a long time. Shout out to Shank. Um, who was Shake Rock, who is a supporter today's supporter of the show. Please smash that like button. Shout out to the mods in the chat. Special shout out to Ali for always being here and here every live, and also for heading over to to X, formerly known as Twitter, to ask them to come over here and like the video. Some of them have, some of them haven't. And uh, I don't know, maybe the opening of the other defendant. I don't know, maybe it'll be YouTube only. I have to think about that tonight. Um, have some discussions with my right hand here on the team, just to let's I just want to talk through with somebody. Let's see how that goes. But anyway, shout out to y'all still supporting me in a way over there, and for those that came over, shout out to you that came over and hit that like button. Shout out to you all. Thank you all for being here. So I'm going to end the show as I always do by reminding you all that men get breast cancer too. Because of the stigma surrounding the word breast, we have changed the word to peck and or chest cancer over here. So let's continue to end the stigma and still keep bringing awareness that men get breast cancer too. And to all of my ladies, please be sure to get those mammograms, fill on your boobies, to make sure that you are all right. All right. And don't you ever let anyone come into your house and disturb the peace that passes all understanding. I am Survivor Speaks, and I will see you guys in the next live stream. Because I won't do this in the video. I'll do this in a live stream, as promised. So, like I said, interested in the transcripts, send an email. Ali had put the email in the chat. I'm not going to see it today. I'm just going to be honest. Not going to see it today, but I'll see it as soon as I check my email. And it'll probably be in between during the day. Most of the day belongs to my mother. Okay. Chloe Albert, shout out to Chloe Albert's Revenge for coming over here and showing up and supporting the show today. We can't see the over here, but she has the Survivor ribbon and she has the pink sign waving goodbye. Shout out to you, Chloe. Appreciate you here so much. Yeah, you send me an email. I'll send you over to the guy where you can put your money in the pot. And I'll talk to him, and see what he feels about. But more than likely, he's not safe. What is it, gatekeeping? But if you're not going to support the show, and sometimes people are in the bushes, watching, not supporting the show, don't want to come out the bushes, don't want to hit the like button here on YouTube. We can't tell whether you liked it. Unlike Twitter, if you hit the like button, it's going to tell us that you liked the video. It's different over here on YouTube. You don't want to support the video by just liking the video for free. So yes, it costs a lot of money for the transcripts, and they're only partially available what they have released, which is not much, but the trial is public. So nonetheless, I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for being here. Shout out to you all. See you later. Peace. against his ass was knocked out before the end of the fight. A champion coming through, knocking everything out. This is how if you see, I do nothing for clout. Just like cancer, I'll let nothing take me out. So be respectful when you step foot inside of my house. Over here to have your ass escorted on out. So hop up out the bushes, wrap your feet, take a seat, and get comfortable and chill with your girl. Survivor speaks, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Who, what? I'm Survivor, speak. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? It's time for you to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you get a notification each and every time that I go live. Yeah.